preaching on the topic, no settlement. No settlements. We don't have any business settling with Satan. In our former church, there was a case of two sisters. And these two sisters were living in the same house, in the same room. And two of them were singing in the choir. And they were always quarreling. Particularly, one of them never liked beans. The other sister, each time she will cook, she would prefer to cook beans, which the other sister did not like. They always had problem. And for them to settle, you hear this one saying, I'll never forgive her. These are two sisters living in the same room. And also singing in the choir. For the case of no settlement, it's not between a sister and a sister. It's not between a brother and a brother. No settlement between a brother and a sister who have problem, no. When we talk about no settlement, we are talking about a Christian, a believer, and Satan. And also God and Satan. God cannot settle with Satan. And we are the offsprings of God. The offspring of a lion is what? It's a lion. So if God has no compromise with Satan, we should also not have compromise with Satan. For we know that we do not wrestle flesh to flesh, brother to brother, brother to sister, sister to sister. No. Our wrestling is not the physical human being you are seeing. There is always the one that is hiding his face through someone who is quarreling with you. In most cases, you see, in a compound where many people live, the rope to spread clothes may even be your own. And some other person washes clothes and spreads on the line. The clothes are dry. The person wants to find problem with you. Doesn't want to remove, and you have just washed your clothes. You want to spread your clothes. The other clothes are dry. If you just push them a bit and spread their own, trouble. The line is even yours. What we must remember and be on our guard all the time is that there is always one that is masking behind that person. Ordinarily, that person will know that those clothes are dry. But because the person wants to cause trouble, only to turn around to say, I think you say you are a Christian. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and powers. We wrestle against wicked spirits in high places. We wrestle against what again? What? Rulers of the darkness of this world. We wrestle against what again? Witches and wizards. We wrestle against evil spirits. So our wrestling is not the man, the woman you see. So when we talk about no settlement, no compromise, we have nothing to compromise with Satan. Satan will seek compromise. He will seek settlement. But it's for us as children of God to stand our guard. Satan will do everything to distract you because he has lost what you have gained. Satan was with God. Ezekiel chapter 14. Satan has lost heaven. When sin was found in him, he was cast down. But when sin was found in man, there was a day's man. In Job chapter 9, we'll come back to Isaiah 14. Job chapter 9, I'll read verse 33. Job 9, verse 33. Neither is there any day's man betwixt us that might lay his hand upon us both. Job here talks about a day's man. That's an umpire. When man fell, there was an umpire who laid his hand on God, whom we have sinned against, and laid his hand upon man and brought them together. There was salvation. There was redemption for humanity. But when Satan fell, there was no redemption. He has lost what you have gained. He will always seek to draw you out, to make you quarrel. So when you see people are quarreling with you in the compound where you are living, it's not just because that person wants to quarrel with you. Satan wants to draw you out of the presence of God. Man fell, man was redeemed. But when Satan fell, no, he was cast down. Ezekiel chapter 14. Ezekiel 14, I read from verse 12. Isaiah chapter 14, I read verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cast down to the ground, which this weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. Here is Satan, pride, and of course, one of the major sins God will not tolerate from any person is pride. It's through pride that Satan fell. You may ask, we are tempted by Satan, but who tempted Satan? If you will ask that question, you might as well ask, where was God from the beginning? Who created God? Satan has said in his heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Let me just explain this mount of congregation. This mount of congregation is as good as when the children of Israel will talk about Mount Zion. But in Canaan, they talked about Mount Zephon or Mount Cassius. To the Greeks, they talk about Mount Olympus. It's from there we have the Olympic Games. Now this mount, or this mountain, is believed to be a gathering where the gods of the land gather. For the Greeks, Mount Olympus was a mountain where they gathered. In fact, that's where Olympic Games started. The Greeks were doing the Olympic game at Mount Olympus every 4 years in honor of their chief deity, Zeus. Many people confuse Zeus with Deus. Deus is the great God. Deus Dei, that's the great God. The Greek god is Zeus, Z-E-U-S. They hold their Olympic Games in this mountain in honor of Zeus. So, Satan said, I will sit upon the mountain of the congregation, the mount of congregation, in the size of the north. So as the children of Israel will talk about Mount Zion, Satan also wanted to get to sit in the mountain of God. Pride had let him do this. He has said in his heart, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the size of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider the saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and these shake kingdoms? So you see, when Satan fell, when pride was found in him, what happened? He was cast down. That was not the place of human. Satan was cast down immediately. Ezekiel chapter 28. Ezekiel 28, I read from verse 12. Son of man, take up lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou sealest up the sum means a seal of perfection. Satan had the seal of perfection. God created Lucifer in a special way. We'll see that. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, the topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, and emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day thou wast created. Satan was created such that as the music leader or the angel heading the praises in heaven, we have our choristers. When they sing, you have different parts. We have different instruments. But when God created Satan, he created all this in him. So Satan at a time can sing all the parts with all instruments inside him at the same time. Do you understand this? He was a seal of perfection, beauty, and as the music director, he had every equipment created within him. So when he is singing, he doesn't need piano. He doesn't need flute. He doesn't need saxophone. All are enclosed in him to sing at the same time. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and hast said it so. Thou wast upon the holy mountains of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways, from the day that thou wast created till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore, I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God. I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. In fact, it's believed that Satan, Lucifer, was created out of different stones. Also, stones out of fire. So we'll see that indeed God did not create hell from inception, because there was no sin. There was no person to punish. But when sin came through Satan, and Satan had been created out of burning fire, so God's judgment, just as God says unto man, out of dust you were created. When you die, you return to dust. So Satan also was created out of burning stones. So the punishment of Satan is to also go back to fire. So that's how we now have hellfire. So this morning you are hearing the message on no settlement. If you want to settle with Satan, that means you will go with Satan to where? So our problem is not man to man, woman to woman. Our problem is no settlement, no compromise with Satan. Just as God has no settlement